Hello, hello, hello. It's the Private Talk Podcast with Alexis, Texas. That's right, guys. It's podcast time with your favorite team, Texas. So I've got a guest with me that I'm super excited to have with me. I've actually been a fan of her probably longer than she's known, but I've been a fan of just booties in general because my booty is quite large. But I have Miss Rosa Acosta.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Introduce yourself. Tell my fans what you're all about. Like I said, I'm a fan of your booty. I'm a fan of your entrepreneurship. I'm a fan of like how you are so female empowering to a lot of women, including myself, to just embrace our bodies and just feel comfortable in our own skin. So yes, introduce ourselves to
My name is Rosa Acosta. I'm pretty sure that most of your followers and your listeners have masturbated to myself as well. So
I'm not gonna lie, I have.
So I don't really have to like explain you guys that much. Y'all know me. Come on.
You know her.
You know me.
But you know, there's some people, and maybe
me.
they're like your fans and they haven't done it to me, but they have. You know, it's like, you know, you never know who's out there listening to the private podcast with Miss Alexis, Texas. But yes, I definitely, I mean, full disclosure, I've definitely masturbated to you. Just saying.
Thanks. I mean, there's a lot out there, so I appreciate just, you know, being able to like stay on the top, whatever, 20.
Just being relevant of anything. Like, I mean, like for me, myself, like why I feel like from afar being a fan, like I've known similar people that's known you and friends like Lux and like French and all these things, people like that. But I've like known you and I've always known you're a good person. But I was like, again, always a fan outside. So for me, it's always about like, I'm a feminist. So for me, it's about female empowerment. And for any woman that can be an entrepreneur in this world and this type of like environment where we already get judged all the time and whatever, and you still make it on top, speaks volumes of who you are, not only because of your entrepreneurship, but like your thick skin to make it still who you are like now and still be as good of a person and have a smile on your face to like even now.
Yeah, I am definitely the definition of I don't give a fuck.
But honestly,
I'm the face of I don't give a fuck.
But that's what makes women right now who are boss bitches. You have to be a little bit like that. And not that you don't, lot. Because for me, even like I said, even though you don't give a fuck, I still know you. If someone you give a fuck enough about, you'd give a fuck.
Well, okay, I said I don't care about the opinion of other people, but I am, I'm very giving and I care for people and I love hard, right? So me saying I don't give a fuck about people's opinion doesn't mean that I don't care about other people. Like I totally care. I live my life making sure that I don't like hurt other people. But yeah, like when it comes to like judgment or like I have to do this because people are gonna think, like I don't live by that at all.
But I think that's the misconception of a lot of like women who are in powerful situations, regardless of what industry you're in, because myself included, is like if I felt like in my industry, if I spoke a little too much or if I did this or whatever, then I'm a diva or I'm labeled as this or that or whatever. And then you're like, no, I'm just knowing my worth and you know what it is. And so it's like you gravitate through life and situations according to each individual's perceptive of what it is. But it's at the end of the day, we all put our pants on each like everybody else. As long as you respect me, I'll respect you. Right. And that's at the end of the day what it is. And that's what I love now at the new age of like entrepreneurship is not only that, but it's given more time for women to speak about what women can do without anybody, without a man, without anything. It's just using your image and your knowledge of what that is. So what do you have going on right now that makes your brand so you?
Well, I've been having my store called Cosa Mia. We started online in 2012. And then in 2015, we were on Melrose until 2018. So for 3 years, we were there. That was amazing. We're still online.
Yeah.
It's cosamia.com. COSSAMIA.
I've shopped there myself as well.
And within that, I work with a bunch of up-and-coming designers. And so like Angel Brinks, Jivan Flores, Jessica Rich, Brittany DeShields. and my very own workout line called Body by Rosa Acosta. So I have that. I also have a fragrance called Rosa by Rosa Acosta. I still, actively doing some modeling, some hosting. I just recently did a music video with Dave East. I very active on like OnlyFans, Patreon, and all those like sites. So I'm just doing, a little bit of everything. I'm just basically not leaving $20 on the table for
But that's
anybody.
the thing is, what makes it, again, what's the greatest part about entrepreneurship is that you knowing that and evolving with, again, the times of what it is and all these things is like, if you don't, you'll get left behind. But again, why leave $20 on the table? I don't want to leave it on the table. If I can make it, I'm going to do it because, again, we did this for a reason.
Yeah, the one thing about me is that I'm not afraid to work. And when I say work, I don't only mean like modeling or the things that look like so nice. You would potentially catch me one day on a lemonade stand selling you an empanada somewhere. You might call for somebody to clean your house, and then boom, is Rosa Acosta.
But that's why you're a businesswoman now. Like how
I'm a hustler.
Like,
I'm not afraid of a dollar. I love money, so
And that's what makes the world goes round. But that's the thing is like because of the honest truth.
As long as it's legal, by the way.
But that's what makes the world goes round. So again, I appreciate you. I respect you. Your hustle is like you're just so genuine. You're just such a jet setter of like certain things. Like you're just, from me being a fan from afar of certain things, it's like you see certain things. You've just been very vocal about things. So I feel like because of the world that we live in now and like being very apparent of like judgment of whatever and how you are and carry yourself speaks volumes of how an entrepreneur should be and as a woman. So because at the end of the day, we don't need men. We add them to a value because we want them to be, or a woman, regardless of what it is. But the fact that you could still stand your own ground and still make your own money and whatever, like, and still make your own wave in businesses speaks a lot of who you are and your character of coming here and doing all of that. So
yes, I agree. There's nothing like being independent and being able to also sometimes provide. Like don't get me wrong, I love. I've been in a position where somebody has provided for me, even though I was still working. And there's nothing like making your little money,
And I feel
there's
you because I've been in
and
those situations as well. But the thing is, like, when you get, it's almost like it's like it stifles what your true ability could be, is because you know that you can do it yourself. That even though it's given to you, it doesn't mean as much. Because to me, it's like I'd rather work hard and like put the grind in and like get the dirt on my face and like in my hands to like do all that stuff to like make $1 to like know that if I want those shoes, that bag, that house, that car, that trip, that whatever, I worked for it, not because someone gave it to me, because that's easy.
There's nothing like being independent and also like a provider, because I love to, when it comes to like people that I love, whether it's family or friends or significant other, to being able to gift them with something. I'm really good at giving presents and I love giving presents. So I love to do that on my own. So yeah, I love making money. Book Rosa Acosta for everything, for music videos, your parties, like
I'm just gonna book
Instagram
you to come into my house just to just be present in my home. Can I book you for that?
Oh yeah.
Where can we book you at?
Well, for that, you can book me directly. You know what I'm saying?
I like that a lot.
You guys just book me for the music videos and.
So speaking of music videos, where did you start your music video endeavors? How did it start? Like, where did Rosa Acosta really start from? Tell Private Talk podcast where it's all about.
Yeah, so I was a ballet dancer when I was living in Dominican Republic, and I had my pictures up on MySpace. I was contacted by a guy that has, I don't know if it's still up, but he had a website at the time where he showcases a lot of like flexible girls.
How old were you at this time?
I believe I was 24, 25.
Okay.
So he said, hey, I have this website. The pay was really good. And it was just like basically doing the stretching routine that I will do every day before I will get into a dance class.
Every day, whatever. And you're like, you're going to pay me. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I did it. Obviously, I was wearing like boy shorts and like a sports bra, like really like cute little outfit.
Because that's really all it takes. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
and yeah. So then I ended up.
I did more, but
He ended up putting a little teaser on YouTube of that video. And the next thing I knew was that thing, it was like millions of views. And, then I started to get contacted by artists and
that's how
magazines.
you poppin', girl. Like, let's be honest. Like, you didn't know at the time. The same thing is like, you just don't know because it's rapid fire. Like, just the response at that time, you don't know, like, cause social media or whatever. Like,
it was YouTube at the time. There was no.
You didn't.
There
know.
was no. It's Instagram
like
yet.
Like, exactly.
And I think Twitter was like very new.
How did that feel?
I don't even know if Twitter was.
How did that feel like when you were like getting the response of all that? Did it make you feel like you already knew that you were like supposed to get that love, or did you just like was it so unexpected? Like, how did it take you?
I guess it was very unexpected because this video was supposed to be on his website, but he put the teaser to bring people back on the website. So
you were kind of misconceived of what it was really going to be.
No, not necessarily. I just didn't know that he was gonna put 30-second or a minute clip on YouTube. So I just thought nobody was gonna even see this unless they were on their website. But at that time, did you even
really know what YouTube was about? Because I, to this day, am just still learning about YouTube, which is horrible. But
I had an idea.
I mean, not to this day, but within the last 2 years, I've done it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, the whole like, you just didn't know how big YouTube was really gonna be 2-3 years ago. So when you started doing YouTube stuff at all, it was like a whole branding thing on something else. So
I went viral before I could even. Before I knew what being viral was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like
the whole thing of the whole evolution of what YouTube was, but before we even knew what it was going to be, is where we're at now. And now it's like the money maker, you know what I mean? Like, why we're here now. It's like,
I mean, it was kind of like unexpected, but I take everything.
But in the back of your mind, you already knew.
No,
you're a bad bitch. I'm not gonna say, because for me it's like I've already I was a fan from afar. I've known you from like certain friends, and again, you've always been polite to me. But again, to me to say that from my own, like, the plethora of women and men that I've gone through, that's a big deal for myself to say that. But I'm saying is like, but I just, not only because of like what you look like, but it was just everything. It's a whole like conglomerate of things as what a woman should be, and what a boss person should be, is like the presence of what all that conspires of. And a lot of people don't understand that in a genre of like what we are, is because as women, we kind of sometimes get, not sometimes, always get like overlooked more times than none. You know what I mean? So like, how do you deal with that in the business that we're in right now?
Honestly, I don't think that I am, and obviously I work in an industry where, there's tons of beautiful women, and we also live in LA.
I know exactly what you're going to say, but what I'm going to tell you is I'm very humble as myself.
No.
And I know that what you're saying is that you don't think that you're who you are on another level, but you're who you are on another level. Like, not only because of like you being here and just agreeing to be a part of my like podcast, but you are who you are for a reason. And like, people, you wouldn't have as many followers and a following of why you can have your store, a fitness thing, and designers wanting to do stuff with you if you weren't Rosa Acosta. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So I think what makes Rosa Acosta is not 100% the way I look, because
it's not about your look, it's the presence of everything.
Right. So what I believe is that I like to believe that I'm okay looking. I'm thankful for my looks, and I make the best out of them.
Being modest, but okay.
But I would like to believe that like some of the things from my inside like comes out, and so that's what people see.
But that's what makes you look even hotter.
Exactly, because you know how like sometimes you see. I mean, it's happened that I see a girl that's like really pretty, and then you hang out with her, and you're like,
she talks, and then you're like, please stop talking.
Or you just the energy, like it's like stank, and you're like, ew, like you're not even that cute.
Believer. I have crystals over here to prove it. I'm a firm believer in all energies.
Yes.
Yep, they're right here.
Oh,
yeah, you're welcome.
Good.
Yeah, because I get all of that.
Yeah.
So I understand that. But me being, again, saying whatever and not saying bringing me into this, but you just recognizing that is a big, we're in a female dominated like world, but a male dominated driven world. Right. So to be who we are and just complicit, just being who you are, is why I feel that I have the courage to do a lot of things that I'm allowed to do and other things. And even though we're in different avenues of businesses,
well, kind of like it's still
it's
similar a little bit because we're still like, selling
an image,
the idea
of course, of what
sexy and sex. Like it's still like even whether you go a little further or you gone a little further and I don't, but it's still like the idea is there, like the whole like, when it comes to like
it's the perception of regardless of anything, if you have or not, there's
right.
always that you have, you know what I mean, or not.
Yeah,
so like you said, this as soon as like when you came on, it's the fan base of. It is similar to a point, but there is also things because you have done things I haven't done and reached too, is like the fitness and things like your entrepreneur things that I don't have that fan. Yes, now they do now, but it's like a lot of time it's evolved. I've been in the business for over 10 years, so the evolution of how porn has been portrayed and like from being the not so attractive male to now that's all they care about is the one that looks the best or whatever. But ideally that means that they've probably dabbled in a lot of things that are questionable for the ideal woman like myself, is why I chose to opt out, is because my thing was I don't misfault anything in the business, and I've dealt with a lot of things, but for me is that I've chosen to make a career path on my own level, the same way as yourself. So it's like you choose paths of what it is. The same thing with me is like once I wasn't having fun anymore, I chose to do something else.
Right.
So we opt to do certain things. So why I inspire to do someone like yourself is that your entrepreneurship of making a clothing thing, making fitness, making whatever, and your lifestyle and your brand so much a part of who you are and your income of your everyday life.
Right. I actually I have sometimes people kind of like tell you to stay in your lane. Like, so if you started as a sex symbol, it's like, well, stay doing sexy. Like I remember when some of the even like the video girls wanted to pursue another career, like the girls like before me, like the Melissa Fords and the Lola Loves and the Vita Guerras, and they wanted to pursue whether it was acting or singing or rapping, and people used to always tell them like, stay in your lane. And I'm just glad that none of them actually did, and that they evolve into other things. Whether some of them whether you still do some of like the like modeling or like pictures, and because you still have that fan base that is, it's always gonna like love that.
And sometimes women too don't understand what we really do and what it all entails. Like I've had people like until they really see what I'm in my lane per se, like entails, are like, oh, okay, I get it. Because it's like, it's way more than just taking pictures and doing a scene and doing whatever. And again, I haven't even done that in over almost 3-4 years. Right. But they still like identify you through those certain things.
Right. I mean, everything that we do, it doesn't disappear. So
especially in the social media light of like what society sees us, because it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's about everything you've done before, and then if you're a parent in current events, it's like what you did in the past.
Well, what I love about my kind of like my career is that I've never been embarrassed of what I did. I feel like a lot of people approach their past like, well, I did that and that's in the past. Like for me, it's more like I don't talk about it in a way that a lot of people sometimes they say when you're gonna retire or when you're gonna, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe never. when there's no demand for me, or when the girls that are 20 stop looking like they're 50.
But I think that's probably maybe the disconnect between between myself and you, and not that we're not very similar and on certain degrees, is that I feel the exact same way, but because I've gone a little bit further, people expect a little bit more or whatever. And so because I've chosen to make a direction of like, not that I've been ashamed of things I've done in the past, but now this is my truth and then I'm going forward. Right. As well, you have it yourself in certain things, but it's like, because I've done whatever, is like, for me, this is why my podcast has been so important to me and passionate, is that this is the first time where people have actually heard my truth. And not that I've been stifled before or whatever, but I didn't know how to say it in the right way.
Right.
So now it's like more of an inviting way and like, speaking things, because you know, we all do things, but it doesn't make us right or wrong.
Right.
You know, we just do things because we like them or we don't.
Yeah.
You know?
The funny thing about about when people bring your past is that they only bring your past when they consider that something negative. But for example, I was a ballet dancer for 18 years, and nobody ever tells me, "Well, you were a ballet dancer." They just like, "Well, you were a video model." I'm like, "Yeah," but you know, like, well, if I say, "Well, I was also a ballerina," they're gonna be like, "Well, you were a ballerina." So like the stuff that's good, like if you were a doctor for 2 years, they will never mention that. But if you were a stripper or you were working in the sex industry, like the porn industry, they will bring that up. So that's why, that's a good reminder to do whatever the fuck you want.
But that's again why for someone like myself and being someone and so in my own skin and who I am in my industry and being an advocate in my industry as well is why I gravitated to someone like yourself, is because your energy is so inspiring to women, not only on like a level of just like you don't give a fuck, but like you don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? So it gives people like myself like a more genuine perspective on like it doesn't matter if I'm in porn or not, they're still gonna have a perspective of that's what it is. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like the stigma of is whatever is like, I feel like you're very true on breaking that stigma and like, this is what it is, like me or don't, you know? And that's kind of where I'm at in my life too, is like, so I like those women who are very challenging in their own,
their
belief.
I like myself and that's like enough. And then for every other person that likes me, that's a huge plus, and I'm thankful for that. But if I didn't have that, I will still have me, and that's like plenty.
For sure. And that's the biggest thing that you can have is you.
Yeah.
So without all of that and you being in your business, like what are your biggest attributes and business endeavors that you've been in, within your career?
What was that again?
So what are your biggest attributes that you've been in? If it's been in music, like what did you start from? If it was the music videos, what started you? Where are you at now?
I've done tons of music videos. I've done a couple of like TV shows and some small movies, tons of magazines. I have, when it came to like I work with many, many brands. And when it came to
what was your biggest like movie or TV type thing that you did? That you feel like that you like if there was a goal thing that you checked off, or like you just maybe whatever, like where did it fall in, or did you just not know what it was going to be?
I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of people like love Wildin' Out, the show, because it's like super fun and funny. More and like genuine, a comedian. So I was there for a couple of seasons, and people always like recognize me from that. Mm-hmm. Like all the music videos, like I work with like a lot of like pretty cool people, like 50 Cent.
What was your most favorite music video that you were a part of?
I don't think I have like a favorite. Some people like Best I Ever Had, or like something that I did with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Or
okay, so maybe what's the most recognizable video that you've done where people you still to this day are like, hey, are you in that video? Because some people to me to this be like, oh, that movie, and it's just like they never get it out of their head, but it's always that one.
It depends, like, because I've done stuff like in the Latin market, the American market. So like for the Latin market, there's a couple of like videos that I've done that people were like, oh my god, like
okay, so where are they?
Okay, I did a video for a reggaeton duo. They are called. The song was called "Soy Igual que Tú."
Did I shake my booty to it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And then I did some stuff with Aventura. I did some stuff with the French guy Buba.
Okay.
And so a lot of people recognize me from the video I did with him. And then here I did, like I say, 50 Cent, Diddy, Snoop Dogg.
You're that girl.
Trey Songz, Drake, Omarion, Mario. All kinds of people.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So being an entrepreneur as yourself, what would you give advice-wise to someone in your position starting out, maybe like when you first did, like do you have any advice?
Well, the one thing that works for me, I feel like a lot of people procrastinate a lot, and they have these ideas and they never become anything. They just stay as ideas, and it's because people don't actually like do anything. So I'm the kind of person that launch businesses in like 2 weeks and I launch them and I perfect them as I go. A lot of people are waiting until the perfect opportunity, until the business is
never
perfect,
a perfect opportunity.
and then, because it's never perfect, you never launch it. So I never allowed, perfection getting in the middle of good enough. Like I have launched and I opened a lot of my businesses.
So are there any that you regret that you did
enough.
that so quickly? Or have you always been like, you know what, I launched it, I'm not looking back, I'm always going forward, and you just figure it out?
I have always figured it out.
See, and that's how I am. For me, I work better under pressure. And I always say that to myself. It's like, I may not always know what it is, but I know the idea where it blossomed from. And so I know that there's a belief in something, and I believe in myself 1010%, because the only thing that you can invest in first and foremost is yourself.
Right.
So if you believe in whatever you're saying and the truth of believe what it is, then I feel like you can go no wrong.
Yeah. I like to, when I have an idea, I execution, like very quickly. I execute, I open that shit, I launch that business, and then
I'm a thoughtful person where like I talk about it for a long time and I'm like, but I know I need to. So that's why I'm working on it. It's in the things again. I nobody's perfect, but this is the thing.
I remember even
why I was a fan of you for a long time ago is because I could see that energy in front of you, again, and I don't need to like blow smoke up your ass, but again, it was just one of those things. It was just so. I got your like what it was to you and how you portrayed it to people of like you were just nothing but yourself, and the truth of like if you're gonna like it, you're a fan and you like it or you're not, but that's the truth.
Yeah, well, one thing about me is that I am who I am, right? I feel like a lot of people, especially with social media, they pretend to be somebody. Well, they want to inspire, so they
it's fake.
Exactly.
Fake news.
They do
fake news.
They do fake stuff.
Fake news.
Yeah, I don't do none of that. I live my life.
Me either. That's why I don't also talk sometimes, because I don't want to say something that I don't really.
I just live my life the way that my truth in my life, the way I want to live it. And then if that sparks any type of inspiration for you to, if the way I live my life and I eat and I work out and I enjoy life inspires you to do something similar, good. But I don't, I'm not here to do any like role model type of stuff. Like I'm here to be true to myself.
But that's what's amazing to me is that you're just living your truth, and you still are a model to someone like myself. Like, and you don't even know it. And myself included, like you don't understand what you do. Just being in your truth is sometimes the most inspiring thing. Is just you don't even know by sometimes making that live video or posting that story that you sometimes think you're just venting or whatever, but then there's so many people that are relatable that it gives you like, okay, I should do this. Because again, like I said, like it's very similar but different like aspects of like the business of whatever it is, but it's just little things like that of like knowing somebody that's been through the same types of trials and tribulations, and a lot of it's just like women empowerment. I feel like you get things like women trying you all the time. So you being who you were in the video, like Vixen like era of those things, did you ever have someone like be super mean to you for no reason? Was there very cattiness within that whole tribe? Was it very a small family? Were you all like copacetic? Did it all work, or how did that work? Because I know how my business works, but how does yours?
I will assume that
we can't assume you were in it. Don't assume. Tell me the truth.
This is the thing. I don't really care, and I'm the kind of person that also, not only because I don't care, but because my English, like the way I want the truth. The way my brain works is that if you're next to me, I want the truth, and you're talking about me, I probably won't even notice. I need to be looking at your lips. I know that,
but like in a business, like as catty as women can get into our own things, is you can't tell me that in the video Vixen, when you were like the prime of every video Vixen woman, what they aspired to, when you say hashtag goals, that was you. So for you to say that like that, you can't tell me that someone wasn't envious of you.
Well, I don't know.
That means that they didn't know it to you, but that's why the question is were they being mean to you, or did you not see it?
I don't
or they
think,
like kissing your ass and
I don't think anybody was in my face,
blatantly saying something.
No. They might have said something
probably
behind
were
my
afraid of
back
you.
or anything like that. They should.
Your big booty is. I would be
should.
afraid of it. If you sat on me, I'd be afraid, but I wouldn't.
They should.
But I'd be afraid.
They have all the right to be. But one thing is that I have experience from the girls, from my followers, my fan base, my female fan base.
Other than me, because I've been grouping on you.
I have gotten so much love. A lot of girls don't get that for one reason or the other. They, we get a lot of like men love, and we know why, but it's super cool to like have the ladies having your back, and I got that, and me, I feel like
when every woman told me, oh my God, anything they told me, I was like, oh my God, I felt 10 times better than any man told me.
Yes.
So I know how like the appreciation is why I, as respectfully as what I'm telling to you, is not I'm like, oh, because you're on my podcast, but only because I was infatuated with you in another level. But this is a respect thing. For me, I feel like women should respect women in any group is because we already get it already hard every day, and like we get chastised by everybody all the time. So as women, if we can't uplift each other, then we're not doing it right. So Absolutely. People who are empowering and people who are as a business person, an entrepreneur, that you've done your own thing and marketed your own brand, like to me is, again, volumes of most people can't even do. So I thank you again for being a part of my podcast. I appreciate all of that. But again, like I'm probably fangirling out a little bit, but yeah.
I actually love, it's something that, I love the guys. You guys are like amazing.
Fuck
I love my
guys. No, I'm just kidding.
I got like so much love, for my male fan base, but I do have to say that it's true. Like when a girl gives you a compliment,
it's more like you feel like you have you feel like you have two pats, not just one pat, but two pats.
You just it
and
feels
again, and I feel the same way.
Different.
That's what I'm saying. It's similar but different in the levels. And I have so many people, but when I have a woman come up to me and be like, you know what? For me, it's mostly because it's like you've made not being the ideal woman of being like the 90-pound girl, sexy, like you're curvy. You've made me feel comfortable in my own skin. And for me, for someone to feel that way, that they can feel comfortable and like in their own sexuality, good for you. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And that's why in other levels, yourself included, is like why all of those 4 or 5 factors come into place. It's not just one looks. It's a whole thing. Yeah, it's levels. Yeah, there's levels to this shit.
Yes, and you know what? The one thing also about female giving you compliment is that when a woman gives you a compliment, you know that she's happy. Because, hating ass hoes don't be giving you compliments.
That's true. But when girls sometimes they do, because that means that they're not secure and they know that that's what they want, but they can't do it. Because I've had that too. I've had people cry to me and tell me what their truth is, but they would never admit it to whoever they were leaving with. But they cry and be like, you're the reason why that I I'm like, okay, well, you're the reason why are you doing that? You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, girl. I know. I get it.
So, thank you for being a part of the Private Talk podcast. But I want to know some more riskier questions.
Okay.
You've been out there and in the media, you've talked about how you're very open about your sexuality, if it's coming from men, women, whatever. Mm-hmm. Did it come to a point where you were just so turned off by a man that it went to other women, or were you always openly hey, I always wanted men and women, but this was someone just gave me a voice and now I'm talking about it?
Well, I don't really talk a whole lot about it, but I just don't like to lie about it or hide it. So yes, I do love women and occasionally men. Men make it so hard to love them because number one, they ugly.
Oh, you ugly. Oh, you GL. Why you ugly?
And especially when they naked.
No, I get it. And that's
women are so beautiful,
the
naked.
The thing is, being in the industry as myself is you get certain things that are unwarranted, regardless if you want them or not, if they think you want a dick pic or not. I don't want to see that because it's not pretty. It's not exactly. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
So for me, it's one of those things that I'm, again, because I haven't been in the business for over 4 years. And even when I was so way more pickier than people think. It's like, I get paid for this. So why do I just want to fuck you for free? No, thank you. Right. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, I have more say. Like, not that I didn't have more say before. That sounds bad. But
No, I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So is why is like that whole thing is like, I became more infatuated with women is because not that it was a harder sell, but it was more an intriguing sell. It was like, I gotta spit more game to you to make you want to like fuck with me. And men, I got you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
they're
not
easy.
and like they're
easy.
They're easy, but they're not. They're easy and then they're complicated. But from the women,
so are we.
1,000. That's what I'm saying. It's like the respect level. What it is why the thing is like with women. It's like it's really a mental, emotional like thing of like doing what it is. It says it's like so going out and saying like, "Hey, I'm bisexual," whatever. Because myself, I'm bisexual. I've been with men, women, whatever. I've never fully been in a relationship with a woman, but I would definitely consider myself bisexual as far as
you experience.
For sure. I like both men and women. Mm-hmm. For me, because I haven't crossed the line of being with a woman as intimately as a man.
Right.
I won't say that I'm not opposed to it. But for me, because like the woman and the emotional aspect to all of it is a lot.
Right.
So
yes, we are a lot of emotions. So
that's what I'm saying. Is like I can deal with myself, but I don't know if I can deal with a lot.
Yeah,
like
you just have to find
like
somebody
Oprah,
that compliments
you. I'm Oprah, but I'm not. Like I'll eat you out and you'll be in love with me, but you're not gonna like that. I'm gonna just go to sleep afterwards. There's a certain thing. I'm like the man about it. Like
right, I get it.
So
I get it.
That's why I feel like as far as like for me, bisexually is like as far as my preference, I like both, but as being intimately involved is like one way or the other.
Right. I get it. There's something for everybody.
So is there something like with you, is it one way or the other? Or do you just, again, like you said, is it just harder to, because of the industry that we're in, harder to date men because you're such a boss ass bitch that they're just intimidated?
Well, I hear the intimidation thing, but I don't think it's hard dating. As I get older, it does get more. It's like rare when I actually even like somebody, like even physically.
It takes a lot more because
even just like physically. I mean, sometimes I look at people and I just don't find. I find like almost nobody attractive.
Or it's just like honestly, like it's more amusement. It's not like or entertainment.
It's nothing.
It's not
amusement. Nothing.
It's
I don't even want to look at people. I'm like a lot of the, ugly.
See, like my problem. Okay, so my mom. Yeah, my mom. This is a lot, but my mom always tells me, she's like, you're never gonna find somebody because you have like such just like this. Like I have a really good resting bitch face, which is not good, but good because the industry that I'm in is like I approach so many people approach me, right? That it's like, and it's not that I don't want them to approach me, but it's just like when I'm in my private time, I don't want to talk to anybody, right? You know what I mean? And as well, I'm sure as you feel that way. So it's like, it's one of those things is like, in that personal time when I feel that way, if you want to take the time and really do extra, I may listen to you. And I may sometimes dated some of those people because that means that you're going out of the normal and you're like trying more than me just being like, no, stop talking to me. Because to me, it takes more than the average bear to just be like, hey, I'm going to be all up in your business. Yeah, so again, you know what I mean? So it's depending on how you feel on that day.
Yeah, I don't really find a lot of I don't really like a lot of human beings. So
you like with more animals.
No. Well, I love my dog, but like my son. Like animals are like kids, not like
they are.
Nothing else. Just like
1,000.
babies. I love my dog, by the way. Follow him on Instagram.
Oh, you should tell.
McCoy
Yes.
Acosta.
I honestly, again, from afar fan being over here, but I don't follow his page, but I see his little like things when you're like, you do his walks and you're like, he just gets so dirty. I'm like, oh, it's like mom dog life. It's like one of those things because I have a French and a Puggle. So I have two babies, but like they're not even babies. They're 12 and 10.
Oh,
so
okay.
they're like, but again, I have one, I call them my baby kids because they don't ever act right. It's always
they're kids forever.
They're doing something that's a menace, and I'm like, I'm sorry, those are my babies. I'm so, like trying to be cute. They're bad.
Yeah, my dog is amazing. He's awesome.
No, he's honestly really cute.
So handsome, and
we should have a puppy play date.
My dog is not friendly with.
Mine's not either,
dogs.
but we can.
But he likes girls, so if you come over, he'll like you.
Mine's not friendly either, but I feel like we can come over and we can maybe make them friendly to each other. My dog can get beat up for a little bit. I'm okay with that. He needs to like have like tough love a little bit. If it gets out of control, obviously I'm a mom. I'm gonna like not stop it. Not stop it. I'm gonna stop it.
Right.
But yes.
Yeah, dogs are awesome. Everybody should go adopt a dog.
That is true. All of my like the dogs that I've had, I've never like got it from adoption.
Yeah,
because it's like I feel that's just the best way. There's just so many animals out there that don't have enough love,
and
from places that don't know.
Yeah, and they are putting them to sleep because they don't have space. So instead of buying a puppy this Christmas, adopt a doggy.
I like that motto.
Or a kitty.
I like that. All right, so I want to segue. I want to segue you into this like game that I have going on here. Okay. Are you ready to get a little bit more naughty with Miss Texas?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I know you're comfy on my couch, and I like that because it's about private talk with Miss Texas.
Yes.
And I want you to be as comfortable and as private as you will allow me to be.
Let's do it.
So let's do this. All right. Private Talk with Miss Texas. I want you guys to keep listening. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you do all of those things. And I'm going to get with these questions with Miss Rosa Acosta.
Let's do
it. We're about to play this game that I know all of you are excited because this is the fun time of the Private Talk podcast. We're going to shuffle these cards. You're going to pick a card and we're going to play this naughty question game. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you scared?
Always ready.
Are you scared?
No.
I know you weren't scared. I had to ask you that, but I knew you weren't scared. But let's get it. Ooh, what's it gonna be? She's got the Ace of Hearts. All right. So the heart question. What's your favorite romantic movie? Like, if you have to watch something and you know you want to cry to it, the Private Talk podcast with Alexis Texas wants to know, Rosa Acosta, what is that heartfelt question, that heartfelt moment? It's like that rom-com. Like, what is it?
I like The Notebook, and
I've cried to that.
Also, one of my favorite movies is, I don't know if you could say it's romantic, but I like Sex and the City.
But which movie? There's one or two.
The first one where she
when she
she gets getting married, but he leaves her,
and she like hits him with the like whole flower thing in the middle of the thing. That was dramatic.
Yeah,
I'm a Sex in the City. Wait, hold on. Let me back that up. I'm a Sex in the City fan, so I definitely I felt that one.
I have watched that movie several times
because after that point, you were like waiting for Sex in the City, like after the seasons. You were waiting, like, what's coming next? It's like Sopranos. I'm still waiting Sopranos. But the Sex and the City,
favorite shows.
It was one of those things that you're like, what are you gonna do, Mr. Big? You didn't.
I hated Big.
You didn't fulfill your duties. Like, what are you doing?
I hated Big. I always hated.
Tell me why you hated Big. That speaks volumes. Let me hear. Why did you hate Big?
He was just not my favorite. He did everything wrong, and I just.
You think she settled?
No, you love who you love, you know? But that's the thing. Sometimes we think with sometimes we settle when we're like with the best person, but we don't love them. But she loved him. He was
It's like the
everything.
timing. Timing is everything.
Yeah, she wanted him, and I guess they wanted each other. I never liked him.
Private Talk podcast. You heard it. Big was a motherfucker.
He was.
Her. You know
he
what?
Was shit.
When he let her leave those shoes and the fucking thing, I lost respect for him. Like, how do you have a whole bitch? You created a closet for her, and that's what you did?
Yeah, that was not okay.
Big, you can suck my dick if I had one. Fuck your couch. All right, we're going to shuffle these cards. We're going to play this game because this is the best fucking game that there is in this podcast history. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? You just want one. You just want one. Ooh, it's a club. A club. Oh, you want that? You want that club? Okay. The club card. What part of a body turns you on the most? Like immediately. Woman, man, whatever.
Titties.
When you just like titties?
Yeah.
You're a pervert like me. I like it.
Yeah, I think they're beautiful. Like
it's the immediate, like you see it. Because like titties, like for me, obviously I'm an ass girl as yourself, but like they see it afterwards. Titties, you walk into a room, it's like very present. It's like,
yeah, I like them. I like the fact that they move, they bounce, like when you're walking, and
So let me ask you this: as a woman, and being in the entertainment business, when you see titties that you like, do you automatically go and reach them?
No.
I
don't
do
that.
See, I'm a
no, I don't do that. I mean, if it's somebody that I know, like my friends, or I would, yeah.
Hey, that's the difference between me and you. I do. I don't know why. It just like gravitate. So how do you appreciate?
With the eyes.
But do you tell them, or you just appreciate by looking?
Yeah, no. I love giving people compliments.
You as a woman, like you said earlier, like you need praise. You need to. You can't just look at them or say them. That's why sometimes it's like, as a woman, I want to touch, not that it's an aggressive way, but only because I'm like, yes. But then I also remember like, oh wait, I'm not on a set. I need to not do that. And I just be like, hey, I like you.
Pow,
exactly.
pow.
I get, yes, pow pow. I hit my hand.
I let people know.
I'm learning.
Like
I'm learning.
everything. I compliment people from head to toe. Like I'm a big fan of beauty and confidence. Like I also love a woman that not necessarily is like my type or the most beautiful, but like I can smell and I can feel confidence, and I just
smell. I like that.
Yeah, when there's a woman that's confident and she's just like enjoying herself, I'm like, man, you got it.
So why haven't you given me a compliment yet?
I was saving it later. God damn it. Saving it for later.
Sorry, I like to call people out.
No, you're a very beautiful girl, and you look like I mean, obviously we haven't like really hang out a lot, but I can tell you're a lot of fun, and I like your honesty, and I like your energy. Well, you say that you're very big on energy, and so am I.
Yeah.
And I probably, if I would have not liked your energy, I probably would have just told Fred, like, okay, look, like my dog.
No, and I
sick.
respect that because I felt the same way, and I know, like, again, being a fan, I know like what people are on those levels or whatever. So the thing is, like, as much as like what it is not a kissing of anything. It's just like, it's just mad respect of what it is, and but I also think that a part of what my podcast is too, in letting people embrace what the private talk with Alexis is that I don't bite. I'm not trying to like be invasive. Although
some guys would love for you to bite.
They would, but that's a different time and place. But the thing is, like, I like to invite like the just honest truth of what people's like truth really is. Because I feel like people's misconceptions of what I am and what it really is very different. So I just want people to have a place where they can understand my voice, my mind, and all those things like that. So I appreciate you for coming on here and being very candid and very being yourself. Yes. We got 2 more cards. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Ooh, that's my favorite one. The Ace of Spades. All right. So this is the most spiciest one.
Okay.
What's the weirdest sexual experience you ever had? You don't have to name names. I saw that face, so I know. To people. I feel like I need to light a joint just for that.
Well,
just be honest. This is a safe place. This is private talk with Alexis, Texas.
I was with somebody that I think that person was asexual. Like he didn't like to have sex.
Asexual? You know what's funny is I just encountered, not myself, but my friend being with an asexual person. And I don't really understand, but please tell me more. And all of my listeners here, please subscribe, like to the Private Talk podcast.
That's all I can
Alexis,
tell
Texas.
you about it. It sucked. I hope I never had to deal with that shit ever again. It's weird. It's hard to understand.
Me either, the way you said
and
that,
especially because, you know, I feel like if people come to you and tell you, this is who I am, I don't like
did he tell,
sex.
Wait, was this a he or a she?
He.
Okay. Did they tell you they were asexual or did you find out?
I find out.
Okay.
It was a mess. That's all I'm going to say. That shit was a mess. And I hope that shit never happens to me again.
Well,
if you in a lot of those vibes, don't fuck with me.
I've been in a lot of messy situations. I've never been in an asexual situation, but I've had friends tell me, and I've also, because being in the adult industry, I've been in a lot of different situations. So I did, I think it was, I don't know if it was New Zealand or Australia, one of the two. It was a thing, it was called Boobs on Bike Tour. And there was one person on there that was an asexual person. And I didn't know at the time what that meant. You know what I mean? So, again, I'm one of those people that I love everyone. I may not know what that means, but I'll be intrigued and I want to listen and learn what it is. I mean, it still doesn't mean that it will work for me, vice versa, but not knowing whatever. But knowing what that is and then being in a situation like yourself and like being intimate, it's like, if you can't tell me the truth up front, then like, how can you be?
I think that's something that needs to be
addressed up front.
Up front.
Because
at the
you
beginning.
can't tell me, because asexual is very like, okay, you could like either or, but you're still not wanting of anything. Yeah, which is a big misconception.
It was a mess. And I hope I never had to experience that. In fact, I know I won't experience that shit ever again. That's right.
Ooh, out there to all you douchebag motherfucker and hating ass people.
I want the truth.
Yeah, all that. You get 3 times because that's a horrible situation.
It was.
That's why I feel like people like yourself and included is like, have you ever been like a part of any dating apps like, what is it? And like Bumble.
Yes, I went once on a dating app, and
I'm like,
I was literally, because when it comes to like men, I tend to like very, very old men. So I literally was like swiping yes to everybody that was like.
Is it right? You swiped right.
I don't even remember, but I was just like yes.
You swipe whatever.
I was just to everybody that was old. And then they were all like messaging me, and I was like overwhelmed. I'm like,
but what's old? What's kidding. Your requirement?
Well, no, older. Like, my, I will say first of all, I'm 35, so it doesn't make any sense for me to be with somebody that is not, you know. It doesn't make sense for me to be with somebody that's 20. I mean, let's be honest. But people assume that I would be with somebody that's young because sometimes
their mentality does not match up with us because
some people just think that I'm younger, and so when they see me with somebody older, they don't get it, you know. But I have always, since I'm a teenager, you know, since I started like dating, I dated like older people. When I was 17, I was dating somebody that was almost 30. And then when I was 22, I was dating somebody who was 42. And then from there, I went from like 59 to like, you name it. I like it vintage.
You tell me.
I like
what's vintage? What's this vintages you got?
Well, no. Yeah. And so like it will be.
No, you did. You answered the question with the vintage. What's this vintages you got?
Oh, shit.
You're counting in your hands? Oh,
34 years older than me. It was my top.
So what does that make that from you right now?
No, well, that was like when I was like maybe like 25. He was 59.
Okay. I like it.
So, yeah.
Is that accurate? You looked at me like you questioned like I was doing the math. I'm not. I'm horrible at math. Let's just be honest. I'm never going to be able to look at me in a math question. Don't ever ask for a lifeline, and math is not it.
It was,
But my thing is like why I respect that is like for myself. Like when I got into the business, I had never been with anybody older. It was always like the same age group, whatever. And then the first older man, it was kind of not like alarming, but disalarming in certain ways. But I appreciated certain things in different like ways because of that. So you like
I have nothing in common with somebody that's like
neither myself at all.
I don't even want to have a conversation with somebody that's 20.
But
and in fact, if you go on my Instagram and you look at some of the comments that people leave me, I can tell they are like in their 20s, and it's like, oh my God, like I'm embarrassed for them sometimes.
So can you tell the Private Talk podcast right now, what do you look for in a man?
I don't look for shit. You guys stay away from me. Ugly ass.
Okay, what do you look for in a woman? I'm not ugly. What do you want from a woman? Tell me what I need to know.
Well, most women are pretty. Like, so that they already winning.
Okay.
They already winning.
You're
there.
giving a lot of like, yeah, that's the bottom line.
Then I love people that like adventures.
What kind of adventure? Like thrill seeking, like going to a roller coaster fucking thing.
A little bit of everything.
Riding.
The one thing that
I'm gonna go surfing. What do you want to do?
Well, okay, see, like I'm not that white. I don't do surfing. I don't do camping.
Me either. But I'm trying to
do camping.
See what I need to do to date you, bro.
I came from the Dominican Republic here for a better life.
Preach.
Meaning that I don't want to poop in the woods. If I wanted to do that, I would have just stay in my motherfucking country and poop in the woods in the yard. I came here because I wanted to shower myself with hot water every day. And I wanted to, like have air conditioner.
I'll shower you every day.
And all that stuff. So don't fucking take me to the woods to poop. Like, what the fuck? That's like.
So I'll never take you to a date to the woods ever.
We can go glamping.
Oh, I'm all for that, but we will never be.
But not like sleeping in a sleeping bag thing and like in a tent. Like, fuck your tent.
Okay.
Fuck that.
Since we talk about glamping and talking about women, so what are the chances of me dating you as a woman?
Not many, because you say that you don't want to be in a relationship with a girl.
But I've never had someone, like I've done that being someone who's been divorced, but I haven't also been with someone who'd been like really wanting to want for me. So for me is I'm bisexual for sure. And I've been sexually like open in every way because of what I've been in. But for me, there's never been someone that's other me doing all of the work on either end to make it profitable. Not profitable. That makes it sound very
like a business.
Yeah, business wise,
like a contract.
but like very like I guess like emotionally connected to me, other than being work wise. And I have fun doing what I do in work, and I love again both men and women. And I can say that I'm truly bisexual. And I like
you are attracted to men and women, but when it comes to like relationships, you feel like you have only experienced that connection with a guy.
Yes, because any other time for women, it's been very either more
like fun, like sexual.
Well, with the women, it's been not fun. So the thing is, like with me, is like so for me, other than being like only because it was a third party situation, never just me solo by myself. So for me, I don't feel like that I've encountered those.
Yeah.
So again, I don't take anything off the table. Yeah,
you'll have to like explore that. Like it might not be for you. Sometimes female experience, they're curious and they experience thinking that the relationship with the woman is gonna be easier by default. Like, oh, men ain't shit, and so women are better, and it's totally incorrect. And when that happens, it's actually sometimes you go to women looking for what men have failed to give you, and then it's just like a mess. So like you have to really.
Do you think that you've done that? Have you seek to women because men haven't done something for you? No. Or do you generally just like women and you want to more?
When I liked a girl, I liked the girl, and then when I liked the guy,
because if it's an individual person.
yeah, it's never. I don't do like multiple people at the same time. I don't do like a guy and a girl.
It's individual basis.
Not that I'm opposed to like having like two boyfriends or two girlfriends or a boyfriend and a girlfriend, but I just never done it. I like to like put all my energy into one situation, and I think like people usually like deserve that, unless they don't. Like if they don't, they don't. But a relationship, I think relationships are like between two people, and then more than that is like a threesome, a train, some other shit.
Train, girl. What you talking about?
Well, I
watch one of my videos. What are you talking about?
I had to like do a little like Google search tonight.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Gotta check a little, do a little Google.
You liked it. Don't lie. All right, you got one more card. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ooh, diamond, 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 diamond. All right. At this moment, how many people have you slept with?
I haven't count. Okay, so like, do I count? This is the thing. Like, do I have to count the people that never get hard, or does that count?
Okay, so
like if because you know how hard it is. Well, it's so funny because it's so hard when a dick is soft, trying to get in you. It's hard, but it's
that
soft.
gives you yeast infections. Don't do it.
Well,
when they try to shove a limp dick inside of you, I didn't want to do it. When they shove a limp dick inside of you, they're just asking. You're asking for problems. I'm a professional. I'm not a medical person.
It's happened.
Once upon a time, I was going to school for it, but so I'll consider myself one. Dr. Ruth, move over. This Texas is in town.
It's happened a couple of times, so I kind of feel like, do I even want to like add these people on my list?
No one wants limp dick shoved inside of you. That doesn't count. My first encounter.
Then my list decreased considerably. Decreased considerably after taking down all these people that didn't get hard.
Man, I feel sorry for you. I wish I had a dick. I would definitely give it down to you.
Oh,
I wouldn't
that's
be
so
not
nice.
hard.
Thank you. I believe you too. Thank you. It's like gonna make me cry.
When I start, you know it's real. So let me hear this.
I don't know. Hold on. I'm trying to see who's gonna stay in this list. I need to like think about, because I need to figure out who can stay in this list. I gotta take down like some people that they didn't really like. They were inside, but they were soft. So does that even, So if
but if you're soft, can you really be inside?
Like.
No.
Kind of.
No.
Like, kind of.
That means you're shoving a limp situation into a vulnerable situation.
It's like,
and that means that it's not invited.
It's like having a dead body. Inside of
this
you.
is like, what is it, cold case? No, we don't want a cold case situation. If your vagina
48.
has a cold case situation, get out.
It was
Run.
It was like first 48 in my pussy. All they're gonna see is a sad ass vagina where they're like, this motherfucker didn't even like made it. He was talking about
this is what they murdered. They murdered this pussy.
They were gonna and the pussy's like, not really, man. Not really.
If your pussy could swim, what would it do right now?
If it could what?
If your pussy could swim, what would it do right now?
Swim?
Swim. If you as a live version, what would your pussy? How could it swim? Would you do the head motion? Would you do swimming? Like, how would your pussy swim?
Like, what is it? What are this animal like?
Which one?
No, not octopus. Like the jellyfish. We'll do it like a jellyfish.
A jellyfish?
Yeah.
So you're gonna sting me?
Well, I was talking about the motion.
Oh, so you're gonna like swivel on that shit. Swivel on the D.
Yeah, but
what would you do on the P?
What
would you do on the P?
On the wait, hold on. What would I do? Shit.
If my vagina was left vulnerable on the beach and there was a jellyfish that was attacking some other man on the other side and my pussy was left open, what would you do for the V?
No, then for the P, it would be something for the vagina. It'll be something different. Then I will then
this is a life and death situation. Rosa, what are we doing?
Then I would stun you. Like, you know how when they put the
shot when my vagina is in need?
No, you're not like to revive it. You know how when they do when you're
revive
like
it.
Yeah. So I'll just
so
like,
you would resuscitate my V.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you were like dying over there in the by the water, like, because
you make it so romantic, but then dying comes into play.
All these guys were left you over there like
fuck these guys are talking about me and you
because they had this soft dick, and then like
who wants soft dick at that time when I'm dying?
No, that's why you were dying, because it was
true. All the soft dick made me die.
Yeah, you're like almost like dying.
Why did
and
she
then I
know
came
me so well? Like. When you die inside when there's too many softies. Oh my God. Private talk with Alexis, Texas. You see what you bring out in us? You bring all the internal things that, like, I don't even need a counselor anymore. Like, or whatever they even call these things these days. I don't need any of those people. I just need my guests. Private talk with Alexis, Texas. You're going to help me be a better woman. I'm just saying.
It's therapy.
Thank you so much for being a part of Alexis, Texas podcast.
Of course. Anytime.
Thank you for answering these questions.
I want to come back and then just ask you questions.
Can you just be like the girl that like buffers me over here? You can like massage me and like do things for me, and then I'll do for things after I'm done working.
Yeah. But I want to come back and then just do an interview with you. I want to ask you questions.
Okay, I like that too.
I'm gonna come back on it.
It's like the reverse gangbang of all lives.
See?
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
But, okay, one last thing before we all leave the private podcast with Alexis, Texas. Please tell us where we can see you, what's your social medias, what do you have going on? I know you have an OnlyFans. I have an OnlyFans too. And why have I never had an OnlyFans with you?
Oh, we have to collab.
Oh, look, I saw the sparkle in your eye. I know it's real.
So, I'm at Rosa Acosta everywhere, on Instagram, on Facebook. Just find me on Instagram, and then from there you'll see all the links everywhere. OnlyFans.com/Rosa Acosta. Same thing for Patreon. Patreon.com/Rosa Acosta.
That's right. She's an entrepreneur, badass bitch. You follow her. You do all of that stuff. Support her. Give her money. If I could throw money at her right now, I would. Money. All of those things.
I'm a poor little girl that came from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, stop you lying to all those things. That may have been your story one time, but you a badass bitch. Mm-hmm.
I have 16 stray cats that I feed, please.
I just subscribe to my love so much how real you are. And I love that you've been on a part of the whole movement. Thank you for being a part of the Private Talk podcast and letting me pick your brain.
Yes, I'll be back soon. I promise.
I can't wait. All right, guys. Thank you for being a part of the Private Talk podcast. Make sure you subscribe, like, all that fun shit. Make sure you fuck with your favorite big booty. I've been having a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see more and more guests and all of you, all your comments and all those things. So please tell your favorite big booty what you want more of. All right. Can't wait. Woo, woo.